What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Busty. I'm back with another whiteboard session. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people know they need but don't want to talk about, don't love to. We're going to share with you the 3X formula, the three times formula. I call it 3X formula. Maybe we'll change the name. I don't know. We'll see after we get through today. But the 3X formula for putting your sales process on steroids. How can you grow your business? How can you get more revenue, get more clients or customers? We're going to show you that formula here today. All right, let's go to work. If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, drop a comment below. Let us know where you're watching this from. And tell us what you're discovering from this whole conversation. We're going to dive into a little bit of what we talk about today, just the tip of the iceberg. And so just a little bit of background, right? I want to share with you, first of all, that we work with a lot of clients who are growing their businesses. So whether you're between a team of 1 to 50, right? If you're doing $100,000 or between $50 and $100,000 a month in your revenue, then this may be something that you are really interested in. But even if you're just starting out, this whole formula will help you to understand a little bit more about sales and the whole process and how it can be more beneficial to you. All right, so drop a comment, drop a like below. If you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay. Let us know what you're discovering from this whole conversation. One of the things that we started to share with in this process, allow one of our clients to be able to create $100,000 in revenue from just one client, more than $100,000 just from one client, and $70,000 of that was in 1 month. The reason why this works so well is because of something that we've been kind of exploring even more deeply in my company over the last 8 months or so, right? Really diving in deep. And there's some people that we really look to that kind of support this process and learning. And so I'll even shout them out as well. Got no problem in allowing them to be able to get some shine. You can explore those options as well. Hey, Anthony, great to see you from Fort Washington, Maryland. Thanks so much for being here. For those of you who are watching this from other places, let us know where you are, right? And if drop a comment and let us know what size your business is as well. Are you, a solopreneur? Are you running a team of 10, team of 1, team of 50, whatever the case may be? Let us know how this could be beneficial for you as well, because I think it can be applicable in many different ways. Let's dive into it. All right. So the process that we've kind of developed is what we call unsales. Why do I call it unsales? Well, because one of the things that people really hate to do is sell. And selling feels like an unnatural process for most people because it requires you to go out there and say, I'm going to take money from people. I'm going to offer them this thing all the time. So shouting people out, calling out to them, making these sales calls, it's a very, very grueling, rigorous process. And so it can be very discouraging to put yourself up for rejection over and over again. And so one of the ways that we help people to deal with this, especially in the sales part of the process of growing your business, is understanding two things. One, you can't grow, you don't have a business if you're not selling to people, right? If you're not making sales, you're not getting new customers or clients. You're not doing that. So if that's the case, then what you need to do is to reframe that whole thing, put a different box around that process in your mind and be able to create a different outlook or perspective on it. And so because of that, when you can do that, you will be able to energize yourself and be more motivated, be more focused, be more consistent with growing your business. The second aspect of it is this. When you look at it, what you're doing is really a service to people. And if you're not willing to serve them in the beginning phase of your business, it's going to be hard to grow your business and serve them in the other half. A lot of people focus more so on the doing, the fulfillment, the job aspect of their business. And even when you're leading it and you have other people, you're really, really focused on how people can do the job and not so much on how people sell it. What we've discovered is that when you look at the entire arc of the process, and we're going to talk about those 3 phases essentially, right? When we deal with the whole arc of the process of selling someone into your company, what you do is that you actually get better at marketing to them as well because you understand the other aspects of it. So let's talk about what those are right now, right? So the first part of it is what we call resonate, right? And so that is the part where you are doing a couple of things. Each of these has a different aspect to it, a couple of different aspects to it. We're going to talk about what those are. But essentially, you want to resonate. And resonate means you want to do two things, right? You want to attract, and you want to persuade, right? Now, maybe you've never heard of that word before. You're saying, Frederick, did you misspell persuade? No, the word is persuade. Robert Cialdini wrote a book called Persuasion, where he talks about the whole process of influencing someone before you ever ask them to buy your product or your service. And so what we want to do is we want to bake that in. We want to attract the ideal clients and customers, and we want to persuade them so they are much more likely to buy. They are in the mindset of buying before we even make an offer to them, right? And so I recognize this is a high-ticket, long-tail process. What we're going to do is we're going to compress that and make it easier for people to purchase from us, easier for them to trust us and like us, easier for them to hear the message and be more receptive to actually buying, right? And so you want to attract them and you want to persuade them, all right? The next step in the part of the process is that you want to build a relationship. This is something that not a lot of people think about when it comes to sales, right? Why is relationship so important? Most people think about sales as almost anti-relationship. It's adversarial, if you will, right? I'm trying to get you to do something that I want you to do, and I'm trying to convince you to do something that you don't want to do. And in reality, what we want to do is we actually want to create a relationship of trust and understand what someone else's goals are. We can understand where they are. The better we can understand, the better we can help them to get what they want. And when you have a relationship with people that are out to help you get what you want to in turn reciprocate and be able to give them what they want. In our case, yes, it's sales, but more so, if you have a business that is built around influencing and impacting people, you really have to care about what people want. It really has to matter to you. And if you're building a business around that, the relationship aspect is only going to help you to build a more solid foundation. And if you integrate that into your sales process, now you're doing a couple of things that are really powerful, right? So you are going to, one, qualify, and then convert. So one, you want to make sure that this person qualifies for what you have to offer. Like, are they the type of person for you and your business? Can you actually help them? And if so, then you want to help them to make the decision or convert them to buy, right? And so this is still, the unsales process is an inverted process. It's inside out. Now, we're not trying to convince anybody. We're not trying to tie anybody's hand behind their back. We're not trying to put them in a chokehold and drag them over to our side. What we want to do is we want to actually be able to serve people in the process to allow them to be able to make a great decision and to convert them in the process as well, all right? So the last aspect of this is really simple, right? This part might be the most important part, as we've been discovering. I'll talk about this more in other videos, but this is the retention aspect of the process, right? So I mentioned my client who made over $100,000 with her client. So 70% of that revenue actually came as a result of this phase of the relationship, right? So there was an initial relationship, there was an initial part of the process, and we're working with them, the company, over time. And over time, she was able to build this relationship, as we talked about. She converted them into a sale, which was about $30,000. And then she was able to continue to stack on that and add more value by doing a couple of things. And one of that is to upsell. And then after the upsell, it was to renew them. Now, why is this so important? It's because the longer you can have a client as a client, a customer, the more times you can sell them something that is valuable, something that they hold in value, and they are more brand loyal, then the more powerfully you're going to be able to grow your business. Because it costs less to sell somebody that you already had as a customer than it does to attract and persuade them, right? So a lot of people focus on this end of the sales process, which we would call marketing to a degree, right? A lot of people focus on the advertising and marketing part. And even the sales part, when you're hiring people or you've got a sales process or you're building landing funnels and things of that nature. Not enough people focus here on the retention, when essentially every customer that you already have is a free customer. And what if you just put more energy and time into actually upselling them and renewing them and having that whole process of understanding, how do I actually make this person happy and keep them happy for longer? Think about why Apple is so successful. One of the reasons why Apple, Google, and Amazon are some of those amazing companies, the biggest companies in the world, is because they have built-in models for retaining their customers longer. So Apple will sell you a phone and they upsell you on all the accessories, right? So you get the earbuds and you get a new phone charger and things of that nature. And so people can complain about that part, but for Apple, it's a great business model because they've locked you into that. And because you're so loyal to the core product, which can be the phone, the watch, the MacBook Pro, or the iPad, because those things are so sticky as products, you're willing to buy and keep purchasing those products over and over again, the accessories that go along with it, to be able to prolong the life of it. The other thing is that as you love them so much, now they're able to upsell you, yes, but also to get you to renew, because every year, every fall, when the new iPhone comes out, people just get the new model. And a lot of people will say, well, the old model is just fine. That's true. For most people, it is. But the ability of them to be able to convert 20, 30, 40, 50% of the people who've already bought the iPhone is a much easier lift than having to go out and convince new people or convert Samsung customers to be able to buy that, right? So if that makes sense to you, drop that in the comments. Let me know what you think about that part of the process. And what are you doing in your business to be able to retain customers, to upsell them and retain them, to get them to renew for a longer period of time? Because the longer we can have them, if you've ever heard of the LTV, a lifetime customer value, a lot of people are losing out on that because they're trying to figure out how they can avoid losing customers every month, every year, and not being able to retain them. And what we found is that the more that we're able to do that, the longer term relationship that we're able to maintain with them, then the more profitable the business can be. Because again, you're spending more money on this end, and this end is the free end already. You've already built them, you've already come through your process, they already know, like, and trust you. So you don't have to develop that over and over again. What you do have to do is focus on how you can continue to win them over and over again. And even in this part of the process, this doesn't feel like sales, but you are selling them because you want to understand through the relationship aspect of the business, right? You've built a relationship, you know what their needs are, and what's the next thing that they're going to need? And then how can you continue to support them throughout their journey in helping them to be successful at what they want to do, what they want to achieve in their business. So that's today's whiteboard session, right? Unsales process, we want to resonate, build a relationship, and then focus on retention, allowing us to be able to work for the long haul and be able to scale the business much more profitably over time. If this has been helpful for you, then drop a comment below, LinkedIn, Facebook. Make sure you're following us, you're liking, subscribing to the channel on YouTube. Share this link, this video, with someone that you know, that you find, that you think will be valuable for them as well. And if there is a area in your business, maybe around sales, maybe a particular aspect of sales, like resonating relationship or retention, that you would like supporting with you or your team, then reach out to us. Send us a message and let us know how we can support you. Let's see if we're a good fit to work together. As always, it's been a pleasure serving today. I'm really glad to be here with you. And I've already made lunch, switched the time a little bit, so I don't have to do that now. I'm going to grab something to eat myself. And I'd love to know what you're chewing on in your business today. All right? I'm Frederick Douglass Bussey, as always, ever forward.